If we're building ASP.NET Core minimal APIs, what's the way that we can intercept every single response that we're sending back to the caller? Hi, my name is Nick Cosentino, and I'm a Principal Software Engineering Manager at Microsoft. In this video, we're going to look at a mechanism that we can leverage in our ASP.NET Core apps that allows us to intercept the responses we're about to send, manipulate them in whatever way we'd like, and then continue to send that on to the caller. Now, if you're thinking middleware might be the thing to solve this, you're potentially right, but we have another tool that we can leverage, and we're going to look at that in this video. A quick reminder that if you like this kind of content, subscribe to the channel and check out that pinned comment for my courses on DomeTrain. With that said, let's jump over to Visual Studio and see how this works. In one of my previous videos, which I will link above so you can go check that out if you haven't already, we were looking at being able to handle specifically error messages to be able to get those responses back to the user in a way that was formatted more uniformly. And that way, if we had common exception types, we could have a consistent way that that went back over the API. But if I scroll down and we start looking through this, what we started to see is that when we throw exceptions like this, we have error handling middleware using this error handler here on line 18, and that would allow us to package up our response inside of an API response record. So if I scroll down a little bit more here, you'll see that I was creating these API response records. Yes, if you're looking at this and you're wondering what it's doing, this is something where the one of NuGet package would be great because we don't have discriminated unions in C#, but the way that the JSON gets written out based on my settings right now, if you populate one of these and not the other, you'll only see one or the other on the response. But my goal was that we had a common response type that we could send back. In that video, though, we only looked at doing it for error messages. So again, if I scroll back up to this error middleware, not super important to go through the details, but it was always returning an API response, and that meant errors were consistent. What happens on the happy path? Because that's the error path, right? If we scroll back up here, if you look at this part, so line 34 through 38, if you consider that I might have multiple endpoints and I want to always package them up, you can think about putting it in like an envelope, right? So anyone calling your API, regardless of the route, is always going to have a consistent envelope that your data is inside of. Maybe you want to put a version on that. For me, I wanted something like a success flag just to easily check things, and that way if success is true, you know that you can go look at the data or the payload, and if success is false, you should be specifically looking for an error. Again, you might have different needs. I'm not telling you it's right or wrong. This is just a mechanism that we can look at to start putting an envelope around our responses. In this case, this part here is not going into the envelope. And in fact, if I wanted to do that without using anything fancy, I would have to go make a new API response here. And the way that I have this set up looks pretty nasty, but everyone would have to do something like this, right? And you could go build, like I said, use the one of NuGet package or build an API to go construct this that only takes one or the other. You could totally do that. But the problem, or one of the challenges with doing this, is that anytime you go make an endpoint, you need to remember that anything you're returning, you need to go bundle up this way. The way that we worked around that for the errors was with middleware. We said, hey, look, someone threw an exception. We're going to bundle this all up in our little envelope and send it across. In the happy path, which is here, how do we make sure that happens? In order to demonstrate this, I'm going to first run this example. We're going to make sure that the validation fails, and I will show you the error case just so that you have a starting point. I'm going to go run this, and we should see some JSON come back that represents that envelope structure of the API response record. Before we continue on, this is just a quick reminder that I do have courses available on DomeTrain. If you're just getting started in your programming journey and you want to learn C#, you can head over to DomeTrain. I have a Getting Started in C# course. It's approximately 5 hours of content taking you from absolutely no experience to being able to program in C#. And after that, I have my Deep Dive course, which will take you to the next level with another 6 hours of content so that you can start building basic applications. Head over to DomeTrain and check it out. Let's head back to the video. If I pull this up on the screen here, you can see that the pattern that we have is that we have an error property at the top and a success property at the top, right? Success is false. We don't see any other top level property. That's because my JSON settings For nulls are not being written out, so it's something you can customize. And then inside here, when I have a particular error type, this is for validation. Specifically, I set this up. We can go have a message, an exception type, and stack trace were two things in particular that I wrote in like an if-def for debugging. Again, you can do whatever you want here. That's the previous video, but I wanted to show you this is what the envelope looks like when we're dealing with error cases. How does this look when we want it to be the happy path? So the challenge here is that middleware is something that could work, but I think there's a better fit for that. And I'm going to show you this endpoint filter. So you'll notice I've gone ahead and I've added on endpoint filter here. And if I go and change this to true, I want to show you the output of this, and then we'll walk through what this endpoint filter does, because it's very simple. So if I go run this, you'll see this is really basic stuff, right? So let me pull this up on the screen beside what we got going on. Oh, and it's not fair. I cheated a little bit, right? You're seeing some duplicated stuff because we don't have to go wrap this anymore. So let me go show you this without cheating. You don't need to put the API response. In fact, I could check to make sure if anyone already put this in an envelope, don't do it. Maybe that's a little optimization we could make. But if I run this once more, we should see that we don't have a double envelope. So we get the data, which is value 123, and you can see something else being set to null here. That's why we don't see that property in the JSON before or after value. It's because it's null. The JSON settings will not write that out. But this is put inside of a little envelope. How did we make sure that we could have this happen on this route automatically for us? And that is the response filter that I have here. So this endpoint filter, this is the interface you need to implement. And if you noticed, if I scroll back up very quickly, I had to add that on to the minimal API route that we're accessing. I'll go back down and we can look at the definition of it. Truly, this is how simple it is, right? You have the method that you need to implement for the interface, and then we're going to be able to get the result. And then from there, we just wrap it in the envelope. There's literally nothing more in this particular case. And what I could have done, like I said, is we could do something like if result, like we could add this as a little optimization so that we don't risk like double envelopes. We could do something like that. You could even write it such that maybe in debug mode, if someone's wrapping this in an API response already, maybe you want to enforce they don't. You could throw exceptions and say, hey, like, you know, almost have a contract for your code. And that way anyone developing inside of your application, if they're not supposed to be wrapping it in an API response themselves, you could catch them and tell them, hey, don't do that. Or you could just allow them to go pass it through and you don't have to do the work here. You have options. I'm not saying what's right or wrong, but this is how this IEndpointFilter works. And that way, when the sort of return value of your method call or your route call is bubbled up, we are going to put it inside of this envelope here. That's how this works. And this works very well on our single route that we have. There is a bit of a trick, and one of the challenges here is that it's not yet universal or global for our application. So if I go do this and I add another endpoint, right? What I would like to have happen, I'm going to call it weather forecast 2. I want to make sure that any route I add is going to pick up this functionality. I want everything to wrap responses in an envelope. You may not want that for your application. That's totally cool. I'm just saying for what I'm developing, that's what I would like to have. And you'll notice that weather forecast works as expected, because that's the first one we looked at. But if I put a 2 here, notice that this one is not wrapped inside of the envelope. And it's because, if I go back to the code, I need to add this endpoint filter onto every single route. That may be cool for you because you want to have full control over every route. But for me, how do I make sure that I can have every route automatically get this? And there's a little trick that we can use. I'm going to scroll back up here and uncomment this code that I had hiding in plain sight. But we have a way to do a group that is empty. And this means that once we have this empty group, I'm calling it global because it's sort of like this root. You could call it maybe root as well, this root grouping. Because it's empty, there's nothing in the URL path that you have to go add. So this will just work. And that means I can take off this and I don't have it on the other one, right? So both of these routes do not have an endpoint filter explicitly defined. We just have it on this root group. And let me go make sure that I change this one because I would have forgot to do that. But now we have, I'm just collapsing them so you can see, 2 get methods that we can go implement and call here. and neither of them have an endpoint filter. But if we go run this, we can see that weather forecast was the first one we looked at. Again, this is off of now the route grouping. It does not have the endpoint filter on the specific route. If I put a 2 here, we get the same thing. So now both of these, because they're off of this group, do in fact get that response filter, or my standard response filter that I built. Perhaps you have different parts of your application that have different groupings and you only want the endpoint filter on those, maybe not globally. Again, this will clearly work if you don't want to do it at the global level. You could do something like weather here, and then instead we have something like this. You could have that, and we could have a weather group. And that way, maybe you have like a different route that says hello and you don't want this kind of envelope on the response. You're able to customize this as you'd like, but I wanted to show you that little cheat code where you have an empty group name, and that way you can apply things onto that and sort of have this endpoint filter applied globally. So at this point, we've now seen how we can handle errors and make sure that those are wrapped inside of an envelope and on the happy path, especially if we want global or specific routes to have an envelope around the responses. We can use an IEndpointFilter to go hook that up. If you thought this was interesting and you want to see more about building modular ASP.NET Core applications, you can go ahead and check out this video next. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.